I want affordable health service.
I want to be powerful,
Powerful.
supported,
inspired,
connected,
Educated.
educated.
I want specialized banking. I want maternal care.
I want to be a part.
I am a woman. I am a king woman.
I am a king woman.
I am a king woman.
I am a W woman.
Ayodeji Megbope's episode of King Women to understand why it's probably one of my favorite. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. What is so it was such an amazing interview. I just kept on telling myself, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm capturing all of this on camera, and nothing has gone wrong. Oh my God, thank you God so much for this experience. And I remember I went home and we're backing up the footage, and we turned on the sound equipment to back it up, and we saw all the files for sound, and when we clicked on it, nothing was there. We clicked on it, nothing was there. The entire sound files had been corrupt on us. Nothing done, it was just a glitch in the matrix. It was just a glitch of the machinery. And I remember I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. I was like, are you trying to tell me that this amazing experience that I had with this amazing woman, the rest of the world will not be able to to her and ask her, can I do this interview again? So many of the things I captured in that interview cannot be redone. You can't recreate those moments. And I remember I went to an uncle of mine, Dr. B, and we're showing him the sound files, and he goes, an amazing sound technician, one of the best in Nigeria. And he goes, these sounds were lost. And I was just clicking on the actual clips, and I was like, you mean I've lost all of this? And he was listening to the sound that was coming directly from the camera, and he went, Kemi, is that the sound from the what you shot? And I said, yes, it's the sound from the camera. And he goes, you haven't lost it yet. Give me this particular sound. I promise you, I can clean it up. It won't be as great as the other one you shot, but I promise you, it will be just perfect. And I was just so elated that I was still going to be able to share this amazing moment with this amazing woman to the world.
What to do to start this?
To the world.
I was born in Ilorin. I come from a family of 5. I have had 4 siblings, and I'm the second of the 5 of us. My father was an engineer. I'd always known him to be an engineer until he became a priest. He became an Anglican priest. My mother has always been a leave-home mom. She's never worked. She's always been there for us. After my birth in Ilorin, my parents moved to Kano. Yeah, because my father was an engineer. He was working with the federal government. So we moved to Lagos, and I remember us moving to our own house. My father built a house, and so we grew up in Mushin, and middle class family. My father was high on education. He's still high on education. Everybody had a very robust upbringing. You know, everybody was well schooled. I had the major of all challenges. You know, as far as education was concerned. My father had always been very religious. You know, he had very strict Christian upbringing, and then I think he started facing challenges in the civil service. You know, he was really high up there. I think he was a senior engineer, and he started having issues with having to offer bribes, to take bribes from people. People were putting pressure on him. People wanted contracts from the federal government, were putting pressure on him to accept bribes. And he didn't want to do that, but his superiors wanted him to do that. So I think he got caught in between. And so he said, look, let me just serve God. From day one, that had always been spiritual, very religious. And we were always going to church. We were always in church. So the only difference was that the chauffeur driven cars were no longer there, and we had to. I remember at a point my younger sister's school was changed, just a little adjustment, but that had really made a lot of investments. So we're comfortable to some extent, but even though we couldn't afford so much luxury, at least we're not lacking in the basic things, So we had to go to church. My lives were under more scrutiny because we're now priests, children of priests, and so we had to ensure that our I's were dotted and our T's were crossed. I was the one that actually gave them the most problem. So of all the 5 of us, I had a rocky start. Education for me was tough. And not because I wasn't intelligent, I was just going through all sorts of issues my parents were not aware of. I mean, I suffered abuse in the hands of a trusted person, they were not aware of it, and it went on for years. And and the amazing thing was that my mom was living right. She wasn't a working mother. And so it was happening right under her nose. But just because she trusted these people, that completely messed up my mind. So it affected me academically. My mother was just so upset with me. I remember she would look at me for so long. Because she couldn't understand why everybody was thriving academically, and I was like looking like the black sheep in the family. And I remember the day she looked at me. She looked at me so hard one day, and she said, "Well, you know what? I've just concluded that you are that black sheep in the family." Yeah, because I had all sorts of issues. Everybody went to the university. They did well. I ended up in a typing and shorthand school, just giving up on me. I remember the first time I did my school cert. I came out with I had 4 credits and I had some passes, and of course I had the other 2 or 3 subjects were F9. But my father just said to me, "You know what? There's hope for you. If you can have 4 credits at a first attempt, you probably will do better if I give you another attempt to do it." So I did it the second time. I did my school cert the second time, and I came out with 1 pass, and the other subjects were F9. My father just lost it. And he said, "It's obvious you're not ready for education, so you go sort yourself out." I remember that day I got home with my result, and he said, "Okay, go sort yourself out and look for what you want to do." And I left my house that day. I had cried. And then I was walking around. Like I said, we're living in Mushin. So I walked round and round and then I saw some young ladies on the balcony of the building, and there was an elderly man in the middle of them. He was seated. There was a table in front of him, and he was writing something, and they surrounded him. And I was looking up, wondering what they were doing. And then the man looked at me and said, "Come, I'm sure we have space for you." So I went up there and I was wondering this is the typing. What are you that just happened to me? He said, "Come and do typing. Maybe you're just not university. Maybe you're not university material." Took the form and I started the typing thing. My father was like, "At least go somewhere, do something." My mom just shook her head. She was just like, "Something's just wrong with this girl." And that situation actually created a lot of friction between my mom and I. Because my mother never trusted me. I was always getting into trouble. She never believed me. I remember, and a lot of people took advantage of that. I remember I would have problems in school with some schoolmates, and they'll say, "Don't worry." And they would really cook up a story. They would be really nasty to me in school. And because they knew mom didn't believe in me, they would come home and tell mom a lie. And I'll be crying, "Mom, it's not true." And mom will say, "I don't trust you. I don't trust you." And then she will beat me. And then my friends they will giggle all the way home, get to school the next day and tell everybody. And I was at their mercy. And they would tell me to go do things for them. They'll tell me to go buy things for them. They'll tell me to steal for them. I was stealing my father's money, so these people will not put me in trouble with my mother. And so that was the type of treatment I was receiving from this person. He dared me to tell anybody. And of course, I knew that if I told anybody, nobody would believe me. And so I kept quiet. I remember there was a day he moved out of the house and he wanted me to come with him. And I didn't want to go. He moved into his own apartment. And then he went to tell my mom. She's so lazy, he says to her. I told her to come with me to clean my house. And if she wouldn't, mom beat me that day. Would you go clean his house? And of course, you don't want to hear the details of what happened to me that day. I was about getting married when I told them. And I thank God my father is still alive, because it almost killed him. He couldn't believe it. I started getting over it when I realized that I can't do anything about my past. It haunted me for so long. I lost self-esteem. I didn't even, I didn't feel there was anything good about me. I didn't feel there was anything good about me. I felt, I was lucky because there was a point he got to that he called two of his friends together, and I was almost abused that day, but somehow God just saved me. So it didn't even mean anything to me again. I didn't see anything except that it must be kept. The only thing I knew about sex at that time was it must be kept secret, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. So I lost self-esteem, I lost concentration. I just didn't care. I didn't care. This went on till I was about 13. So it wasn't until I went to school. And it taught me so much, a lot of lessons. I mean, children shouldn't learn things from their friends, especially when it comes to sex. And that's why, those were the things that made it easy for my husband and I to introduce sex to our children at a very, very young age. I didn't even think anything good would come out of my life. That was why when it was time for me to go for typing and short, and I didn't care. My mom would look at me and wonder, you don't even care. You're just having fun. She would wonder why, she would say, don't you think? And I was like, what's there to think about? So, but when I became more aware of the fact that the past has happened and there's absolutely nothing I can do about the past. And I also began to read books, and I learned that for as long as you hold on to the things your abuser has done, you're actually holding yourself down. Your abuser, I can't remember who said it. Maybe I was in a meeting or something. The person said, look, the abuser has gone. For as long as you hold the abuser in forgiveness, you're still where that abuser left you. So at that point, I just decided, and I became a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home, but then I became aware of my Christian status. I had to rededicate my life to God all over again and say, God, here I am. I need a new beginning. So when it got to that point, I just knew that, look, I have the rest of my life ahead of me. Those things that have happened in the past are gone. So I need to begin to make meaning out of my life. And one of the first things I did when I met my husband was to let him know about my past, especially because this person was still a very critical part of my life. It was family. When I became aware, I became worried about sex. I became uninterested in sex, So I just knew that I needed to tell this man so that he would also know how to handle me. And he was so supportive. Last week, we celebrated our 24th wedding anniversary. And so in all our 24 years, we've never had a house help. We've never had, it is absolutely deliberate. So we decided that whatever we do, the children would come first. At a point, I needed to get a job. And so I had two options. I had the option of a school, and I had another option. The other option was going to pay me more. But because it was a school, because my husband and I had decided from day one that we were going to devote more time to those children. Nobody was going to take care of the children for us. We were not going to trust the children to the hands of any uncle, any aunt, any brother, or any sister. We had wonderful siblings, but we just said, if my parents did not know that this would happen, then anything could happen. So we decided to take care of them ourselves, and God helped us. And so my husband and I are very close. We also have a wonderful extended family insights. When I revealed to my parents what had happened without their knowledge, it actually, it brought us closer. So that helped us a great deal. And my husband and I, at a point, he was much more exposed than I am. He schooled in England, and I was a real local champion. And so his exposure helped to balance a lot of things. There were times when I would want to be overprotective, I would want to be very rigid over things. I would say, come. So that helped. When both parents are on the same page, it helps a lot. And then when there's a lot of enlightenment, so also the extended family was also helped a great deal. We talk to ourselves a lot. Okay, so we take care of our children together, and so we share experiences. So it helped a great deal to be able to balance a lot of things. And then our children, we brought up our children to be able to express themselves. You see, you really can't forgive until you heal. You must heal. Because if you haven't healed, you'll be hurting so bad that you wish evil against the person that has offended you. And so you need to look at them with pity. I mean, I started feeling sorry for that man. Because if only he knew what he was doing. I just felt, well, he probably was enjoying himself or felt he had outsmarted everybody. But knowing the end of such people, maybe not physically, but knowing that for everything we do, there are repercussions, there are consequences, even though they might not be immediate, except of course such people as forgiveness. You begin to feel sorry for such people. And also when you realize that you're not perfect. So, yes, you might not have done things of such magnitude, terrible things of such magnitude, but some bits and pieces of silly things. So forgiveness to me is, you have to heal first. You must heal, because if you don't heal, it will be difficult to let go. It was easier to forgive that abuser than to forgive my mom. Because I felt this was someone that should have had my back. I can never forget how my friends cooked up stories against me. I won't believe them. And then there was a day there was a fight in the house, and I was telling my dad, I was angry, and I said, Dad, please, I won't be upset with you. Just tell me who my mom is. There's no way she can be my mom. And then my mom was like, yes, I'm not your daughter. I'm not your mother. I'm not your mother. You're not my daughter. I can't have a daughter who behaves so badly. Yes, I was really badly behaved. No, really, I was badly behaved, because when I was pregnant with my daughter, I realized I went for a scan, and I found I was pregnant with my daughter. I really prayed. I said, God, please, let all the things I did to my mom not come through my daughter to me. I knew I was really bad, but I mean, my children, they make mistakes. Maybe because of my knowledge, I didn't take it out of them. I realized that they're children. So I had to come to terms with the fact that my mother was limited by her background, by all the little she knew. I know better now. That's why I am being able to relate with my children the way I relate with them. I mean, I remember growing up and seeing children hug their mom. I would cry because I never remembered hugging my mother. So it was tougher to forgive my mom. It was tougher to forgive. But eventually I did. Because I felt she should have. I couldn't understand how that abuser would have abused me, right? The roof without them knowing. I wasn't so bothered about it anymore. What was uppermost in my mind was to heal. My kids were about in the teens when I saw him. When we went to a family and I saw him for the first time after so many years. I had forgiven. So I think that forgiveness part that I have been able to accomplish really had taken a lot of bitterness away from me, to the point that when I saw him, I became happy. I could see the shock on his face when he saw me. When he saw my husband and I saw the children. That was the first encounter. He was in shock, so much shock that he didn't say anything. Now, the second encounter was another family function. And then I had to give a speech. And I mean, after the speech, I got an overwhelming ovation, and he couldn't just get it. He had a bit of what I had become, and he walked up to me and he said, he actually said in my language, Yoruba, I never knew you told me this. And in my heart, I was just like seriously? And he said, I'm sorry for everything. And I said, it's gone. that's the past that I've put it up behind me. And he said, thank you very much. And then the third time I saw him was at a leader function. And at that function, my resume was red. He couldn't look at me. Then he called me after the program. I went to praying. I had a good laugh. My husband and I had a good laugh with the children. So that my son was like, "Mom, you should have punched his nose." And I'm like, "You don't do that when God has gone." I mean, God has obviously gone ahead of everything. So I didn't confront him. There was no need. I mean, the happenings in my life was enough to shame him. You know, when your glory is so bright and the devil has to wear shades, that's what happens to him. Goals, passion. I didn't have such words in my dictionary. It was a song that was always in my head at that time. That was what I was always singing. Whatever it would be, every day, one day at a time. I didn't think anything significant would come out of my life until I began to listen to people's stories. I began to read about successful people. And it just dawned on me that, it just hits me that I can be successful. I worked as a secretary for 20 years. And I excelled as a secretary. I mean, I had bosses who commended me so highly. And then I look at myself and sometimes look at people in other departments, in other professions, who I expect to take some decisions that were so simple. They wouldn't take them. I'm like, is it because of the qualification they have, the paper qualification they have, that they are above me? Then I began to feel that with what I have, with what I know, if I could think of a better way out of situations that those people are in, above what they have produced, then I can actually do something extraordinary. So I began to say to myself, should I go back to school? I remember enrolling in Unilag for a part-time program. I was in the school for 1 or 2 months. But then I couldn't concentrate because the thought of my children being alone at home was very tormenting for me. So I told my husband, maybe when the children go into secondary school, like they go into boarding house, because at that time, our son had just gone into secondary school. He was in boarding house, but our daughter was in primary school. She was in Corona. I was also working in Corona. I had worked for 20 years as a secretary, so my last place of work was Corona School, Ikoyi to be precise. I had worked there for 9 years. And then 40 was just, was fearful. I thought I was going to be 40. And I was like, so what do I have to show for 40 years of living? Typing and shorter kids. Okay, so I ended up in a proper secretarial school, and I just felt inadequate. I would see young people come into Corona to drop their CVs, to drop their application letters for employment, and I see 20, 23-year-olds, they have like 2-3 degrees already. And every time I'm looking at myself, Ayo, you're going to be still. You actually are already still. These people are going to take your job. The last thing I wanted to do at that point was go to school. I just didn't feel right. I said, okay, so I go to school now. I started a course. How many years will that take me? Maybe take me 2 or 3 years. I'll be 43. So what am I going to do with this qualification? I said to myself, no, I'm sure there's something I can do with my hands. It was a struggle, but I finally summed up courage and told my husband. So God has used my husband to compensate me in a lot of ways. And so when I told him that I was tired of working, I told him, I said, 40 is scary. I said, there's nothing to be scared about. 40 is the beginning of a new life for you. And I looked at him. I said, with all the things I'm going through, I said, okay, I need to resign. It was a tough decision to take because at that point, my husband was a full-time pastor and they were really struggling financially. But he absolutely believed in me. And you see that belief he had in me encouraged me. I mean, there were times I doubted myself. And you keep telling me, there's something I see in you that it appears as if you're not seeing. That I see a rare treasure in you. And at the point I forgot all my fears and I kept leveraging on those words he was telling me. At the point in my life, I just said to myself, everybody around you is an asset that God has given to me to learn. One thing that tormented me was actually not having a university degree. It made me feel so less than everybody. But then, I found that there were people that went to the university that couldn't even speak like I could speak. So I was like, why kill myself over what I don't have? Why don't I just magnify what I have? Passion wasn't in my dictionary. I didn't even know what passion was about. I just think that I was living like the fact that I had children, I was married, I was happy. But until I began to realize that there's more to life than marriage. And there are people that are married and haven't made anything out of their lives. There are people that have children and they are nothing to write home about. I found out that significance and being able to impact lives is what actually gives life a meaning. And so I resigned, went for this Montessori program. The program was for 6 months and we had facilitators who come to school to share their different experiences. And they had all sorts of challenges they went through. But they came out of it. And one thing I found out was that the reason they came out of it was because of the passion they had for what they were doing. And I would envisage myself in such situations, and I knew that I would not be able to do what they were doing. And what was then I knew what passion was not. I knew what my passion was not. At that time, I didn't know what my passion was, but I knew that certainly my passion was not to lose. There was a day, and that was the turning point of my lives. It didn't look like anything was going to happen that day. My husband and so I cried to him. I said, "Dad, there's no food." I was very upset. I was sad. I was very depressed. I cried that morning and told him and said, "There's no food. The children are so hungry. There's no food." My husband was usual man, very calm. I said, "There's no problem." I said, "Okay." I said, "There's no problem." Then he reached out to his breast pocket, and my mind was like, "Oh my God." So this guy has been saving money and he didn't tell me anything. I was so sure it wasn't cash because his breast pocket was so flat. And for him to have that look on his face, that confident, joyful, peaceful look, I was confident that it was a check. Maybe he had written the check and wanted to surprise me, So I was just like, oh my God, a big bang is just going to happen. Only for my husband to bring out 1,000 naira. And he stretched it, smiling. He said, I trust you. This money is like my last card, but I trust you. That you turn this money around because you're virtuous for me. And I tell you, if there was no lesson I learned from my mom, I learned the lesson of the instruction she gave me when I was about getting married. She said to me, "Iris, you're getting married. Life will deal with you. But listen, one of the things she told me when I was getting married was, leaving the charm that will make your marriage last. That charm is invisible. It's a bottle of water. When you're angry, take a sip. Don't swallow it. Don't swallow it. When the anger abates, swallow it." That day I remember the charm. I was upset when I was angry. And at that point, that day I was almost concluding that my husband was living in denial. How can he be smiling with 1,000 naira? How can he be telling me that he can make something out of anything? I kept quiet. He left for work and I had a good cry. I mean, if you get a degree from crying, I would have got lots of degrees. I had a good cry and then I got sick. Go to the market and buy food for this trip. If you have 1,000 naira, let me call it money. So I went to the market again and the first time I came and I brainstormed. So what can I actually cook with this 1,000 naira? And I just realized, beans. I can cook beans. I can make akara from beans. I can make moi from beans. And I don't even realize that it's the same thing. At least that's like 3 days meal. So I bought beans. and I just hear God sing. Some people ask me at this point when I talk to them, how do you hear God? And I say to them, see, the best time to learn how to hear God is when you're going through a wilderness experience. Because then you're actually alone. There's nobody to distract you. So I've learned to recognize the voice of God in my wilderness experience. And so I made one with that. And coincidentally that day, my very, very dramatic sister-in-law, and she came in and she was saying that I really was afraid that she would not, because I was just like, no, this woman I have come. Tell me how many days it's going to take us. And she said, can I have a taste of oil? We got from here, I gave her. And she liked it. And then she said to me, how much will it cost me to get this? I said, Auntie, I made it. The Samsung line. She said, only 1,000. I said, yes. She gave me 1,000. She asked me 1,000 line. She said, this week will be too long. And I was too glad. My mind was like, this one I'm giving you. I'm sure I'll take back my money from it. So I made for her the next day and she took it. And she gave some of her friends. I also gave some of the neighbors in her house. And that was how her friends, a few friends, one or two friends she gave to Paul and said, oh, the money is quite tasty. Did you buy it? Did somebody make it for you? Did you make it? And she said, oh, no, my sister-in-law made it for me. And they're like, oh, can you ask her to make for us? And so she called me. I said, oh, yes, I can make for you. Why not? He said, how much will it bring? Auntie, I said, Auntie, let me just 4,000 naira. Let me bring 4,000 naira. That was how I went to 4,000 naira. Some neighbors I gave also liked it, and they asked the same question. And I said, 4,000 naira. When I saw that happen, I was like, maybe I should start selling this coin oil. So I started telling family and friends. I make coin oil. And I was saying, how do you sell? I said, I don't really sell like that. Just give me 1,000 naira and I give you a bag of money. That was how it started. Family and friends. I started telling church members. I started telling people buying. And I was able to save 100 naira every day for my sales. Because of what I knew that I needed to take this money to a larger market. I was very happy that I was making something with my hands. Remember that when I was living Corona, one of the things I said to myself, one of the things I was convinced about was that if I could just get something to do with my hands, I would look at my hands and I'm like, these hands can do something. I met a parent in Corona who told me his mom sold Gary for him to go to law school. And I'm like, and he said his mom was an illiterate. And I'm like, I might not have gone to university, but I'm not an illiterate. So I can do something. And so when I started saying this, I was so super excited. My husband was my number one cheerleader. He was excited. And the fact that we were able to have something was able to do something else. And at the same time, I was taking home lessons. There were times when I would put the boy on the fire. My husband would bring my husband is home and tell me, but in 1 hour's time, he was talking to him about time everything. I'll take a bike. I remember I had 2 children, one in Maryland and one in Anthony Village. I'll take a bike, dash off to go and teach those children and come back for the evening. It was a bittersweet experience. I can never forget those days of waking up at 3 a.m. to watch movies. There will be no moments. We're staying on the 3rd floor of the first floor, 5 a.m. I've taken my mom, oh God bless my husband. There will be no night at that time. 5 a.m. I've taken my bucket of beans. I would have told the man grinding beans that I'm coming at 5 a.m. My husband would wake up. He will go with touch and we'll go grind the beans together. Sometimes I'll get to that woman's house. She's not awake. And I will shout, Mama, I feel well. You want to grind beans? I feel well. I remember washing beans for the day. And when I finished washing beans, everything poured. I cried. My husband watched it. He said, what's the matter? Why are you crying? I said, my back was paining, my neck was paining. Everything has poured. It's too boring. I watched it come again. There was a day I didn't realize that the beans had gone sour. I wanted to see the first person I spoke to said, it's concept. What's that? The second person
to me, come, sir. I took the beans home. I took the mama home. This same sister of mine came to 6 months like, I was so deflated at the dining table. She got me, said, hey, what's the matter? I said, auntie, what the mommy I made today is sour. That's why I have this way with my what's the worth? 6,000 naira. 6,000 naira. My sister, she got out her bag. Oh, damn. Oh, God. My sister. All this for my husband and I didn't do this. I care about everything. And the children were going to go with us. So I was happy. It was painful, but I was happy. There was a day I sold so much more, and then my husband would use his spare time to drive me around. So I'm tired of it. Then when it was time to sell, we need to get home from 9 to 5, would be 3 to 5. I remember there was a day we were happy that we had made so much sales. Guess what? As we were driving, a cockroach just crawled down the windscreen inside, and then my husband wanted to. I can't remember what he used. He wanted to just get rid of the cockroach. He ended up bashing the pan in front of me, really bashing. I didn't do anything. I had to use all the money I made that day to repair that person. These are just tests for us. When we leave those moments, just so we are being asked to ask that question to get the thing. These are the things that we've gone through that make me know it's actually happening. Every height that I've been able to attain, I have learned lessons to be able to operate in that through what's spiritual environments. Remember I was telling you about how I started selling and then looking for bear markets. I ended up in front of Congress. It was tough. It was very, very humbling. But you see, like I said earlier, some things you experienced in the past become tools that you will use to get to your next level in the future. It was humbling because I told them when I was leaving college I was going to open my own daycare center. And I had friends who told me, don't go. They told me, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. Just like the devil haunted me when I was going to be 40, that a fool at 40 is a fool forever. They kept haunting me. A bird in hand is worth two in the bush. I was afraid to go to one. But I said, I wasn't going to beg. There's dignity in labor. There's no dignity in begging. I was going to offer a service. If these 10 people loved my money, if I go to the midst of 20 people, at least another 10 would love it. So that gave me courage to go to the school. So I remember the first day, like the back of my hand, I stood at that gate and I was praying that the people who told me not to would not be the first to come out with their children. I knew what time the parents would start coming out of the school gate with their children. But alas, the first person that I saw coming out of the school gate was one of my friends. I said, Aya, don't go, don't go. When I saw her, I wanted to look for where to hide. But then when I saw the cooler of my money, and I knew that I had made the money with all the money I had, I knew that there was no place. There was no place to hide. Attack was the best for me. So I didn't want to be able to be the first person to talk to me. So I started shouting at the top of my voice. I started shouting, my mind for sale, my mind for sale. By this moment, your life will not remain the same. Where I came from, I had no clue. You know, and then the first time I made that statement, I saw people stop, and then she turned, I turned my back to her before I started shouting. But she recognized my voice and she grabbed my arm. And she said, what are you doing here? I
was also overtaken by that jingle that had come to my head that I didn't even care. I just kept saying, buy this one, your life will remain the same again. So now you told me you're going to open a school. I said, buy this one, the school is coming, your life will not remain the same again. She bought and so many other people bought for various reasons, which I didn't care about. All I know was that they were buying. And that first day I was so encouraged because it was everything. The next day I was there, the day after I was there. I was there for like about 3 months. Walking under the sun, people were buying. And there were times I didn't sell. So there were times I had to take my mom home. And there were times that the children would eat me. And would cry. You were something else. You know, one way again. I was saying, you have to eat, you have to be grateful to God. Some people don't even have food to eat, and they don't thank me for eat. And then my husband, he'll be one corner eating one. So I was seeing him, the morning in his plate, and he had a cup of water after every bowl of water. He was pushing down the water. And I would turn to him and say, are you tired of eating my mama too? He said, no, I am cool, I'm cool. Oh Lord. You know, he was just, there were times we had good days, there were times we had bad days, there were times I remember there was a day, all the women who sold that day was on credit. And I had one staff, I had gotten a staff. And just as we're descending, something and we're getting to Bangladesh, the car stopped. Because there was no fuel in the car. The fuel gauge was bad, so we didn't know that there was no fuel. So we got some men to push the car off and went to the petrol station to ask if we could buy. I went to ask if we could buy fuel on credit, and they laughed. They said, okay, we'll sell to you. We will come back. They said, on one condition, that we drop our food as we pass around for the fuel collector on credit. I was ready to drop my food, but I can never get this stuff of mine. I said, no, you know, customers call your food for money. Let me drop mine. And we dropped our food. Most people get liters of fuel. Had to drop our food also to get it. And so we had all sorts of experiences. But my next big break came still at that date. And that's why I told you, everything you need for your next step is around you. The moment you begin to appreciate everything you have, you will see that it will take you to the next step of where you want to be. And so I kept standing at that gate, and then began to change the face of my business. I stopped being an ordinary normal seller to no leftovers. We gave ourselves a name, no leftovers. And then I branded my bags. So I stopped selling the ordinary bags. I began to learn about business, and I began to implement the lessons I was learning. So branded the bag, no leftovers. And then I saw somebody with this bag, and I knew she had never bought one way from me before. Standing at that gate for those 3 months, that taught me courage. It taught me that, look, receiving no as an answer is not the end of life. Just means, well, go to the next person and try your luck. And so, self-esteem had come, that lack of self-esteem had come thing of the past. You know, I was no longer intimidated. I had confidence, ready to take the world. I was proud of what I was doing, and I was ready to put my best foot forward. As I walked up to this woman to tell her, ask her where she got the bag. And she asked what I was doing, and I told her, she sees me every time at the gate. And she never looked at me. She was one of those women that was always chauffeur-driven. Audrey would always open the door for her. She never looks at the woman by the side of the gate. You know, she goes there, and I also respect myself. But because I saw her bag with her that day, I had the courage to walk up to her. And when I told her what I did or what I do, she was like, really? You don't believe my headache right now. I run an all-service company, and I need a caterer. I have 100 staff. Can you cater for 100 people every day? And I'm like, oh yes, I can. And before then, people had started asking for other things apart from money. They're like, Ayo, if you can make more money in this field, then you should be able to make any kind of. You should be able to make half and all the things I didn't know how to do. But I refused to say no. And then when I take those orders, I'm sitting. The first time I took the order for any kind of, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, so how am I going to put this thing? And then God said to me, go to that same market. You know those evil women in that market? Go to them. And then I took my pen and paper and go to them. I said, went to one woman. I said, Mama, I want to put any kind of, and I want to do this. She saw my face. She said, daughter. We be Yoruba. I said, "Oh, thank you." The husband like, I just said, well, they don't test you. You know, I remember the way she sat down. They don't test you. The thing said I will send you away from your husband's house. They don't feel said, I will teach you. She said, you go to buy from me. I said, Mama, I go to buy from you. I will teach you. Sit down. They write. Yeah. Water leaf, right now. Ugu, right now. Okoroko, right now. That was how I got to know everything. Afang. I think I got it. They don't come again. They know if you take your husband and I will teach you. That way will teach you. When I teach you finish, they will know say now being wife the man. That was how I learned how to. She gave me her card. Go see my HR manager tomorrow. The next day I went there, and the HR manager told me they had tried all sorts of caterers. They had put an advert in the paper, but this one that you're from Madam tried. So I had to go like a crazy woman looking for staff. You know, and I just saw a lot of Bible stories playing out in my life. I just felt like Peter. Remember the story of Peter when he had toiled all night and caught nothing? And Jesus said, just for the last time, just cast your net. And I felt like that. I said, this is, I'm sure this is how Peter felt. Because remember, he cast his net, and then he couldn't pull out the net because it was so heavy and he had to follow the fishermen. I started looking for staff all over. So I'm looking for staff. I need people who can help me. And I got staff. I'm going to start education for this. That business is not just about skill with your hands. So you need to have some business sense, and I didn't have that. And I kept praying, my husband kept encouraging me. And then one day, I just saw pages of the newspaper that an American company was coming to Nigeria. The American company is called Goldman Sachs. They started an initiative, the 10,000 Women program. The vision was to empower 10,000 women developing economies, business skills, to empower them business skills. No money, just to teach you how to run a business program. My initial reaction was everything. And they were doing this in conjunction with EDC. EDC is Enterprise Development Center under the Pan Atlantic University. And I went to my husband and said, this would have been a wonderful opportunity for me, but see, I'm sure they're looking for university graduates. My husband said, why do you always focus on what you do not have? Focus on what you have. Try. At least being at the school gate for so long taught you that, look, no does not mean the end of the world. Try. So I tried. To my amazement, I was enrolled in the scholarship. And the first day was really scary for me because I felt like I was entering university. I was like, come on, I'm indeed, this is under the Pan Atlantic University. Yes, it's EDC, but I am in the university. And the program was for 6 months, and the Americans decided to come to Nigeria. And we had a dinner for them, and 3 of us were chosen. We were appointed to speak on behalf of the past. I was the third person, and initially I was afraid. But then my husband was there, and I ran to him and said, Femi, I've been chosen to talk on behalf of everybody. You know how rugged, how not too nice my English is. How am I going to talk? And these Americans, my husband said, he kept saying to me, magnify what you have. Then he said to me, okay, you know what? Do this. I'll sit in the middle. Don't look at anybody. Just keep looking at my face. As you talk, keep looking at my face. That was my first public speech. And I kept looking at my husband all the time I spoke. I would go round and round, and as soon as I see him more, I knew that I was on point. And by the time I finished, the short speech wasn't for more than, it wasn't for 4 to 5 minutes. I got a roused invitation. And then the Americans walked up to me and said, you are a fantastic public speaker. And I'm like, seriously? seriously? And then they said to me, we want to come to your office. I was like, oh my goodness, that's why I didn't want to say anything. I do not have an office. I do all this in my kitchen. And they're like, really? Where's your kitchen? I said, don't even go there. It's not on the side of town. It's not in Ria. It's not in Ikoyi. It's in a very rough part of town. Then we're staying in Chicago. And they're like, we're here for you. Wherever you are, as long as you're under the umbrella of the 10,000 women, we're ready to come. And I'm like, really? I thought it was a joke. I told my husband, I said, don't worry, do a makeover of the house. As it is, just turn things around, turn tables around, all the handbag of the house was a mess. Every corner had kegs of groundnut, because all the empty kegs of groundnut oil, I would sell to make money. It was such a mess. I remember my children going to, when they get to school, their friends would tell them that, you're smelling of stew. And so my children would no longer eat in the sitting room living, because we'll be cooking in the kitchen and everyone just be smelling. They'll eat in the bedroom, to have breakfast in the bedroom. And then when they're going to school, they'll make a mad dash for the door so that the smell does not linger on them, you know? And so my husband said, we'll tidy everything up and so they came the next day. That was another drama on its own. It was real drama. Because, like I said, we're staying in Chicago, camping, and there was always fights with the conductors, barriga boys. And so that early morning, there was so much noise. First we were excited and all that. And I was only from 2 minutes. I was like, what? What's happening? I didn't check out the window and there was commotion out there. I saw policemen with guns and I was like, oh God. Today the Americans are coming and these people are doing all this mess. I didn't realize that the policemen I saw with guns were the entourage of the Americans. And then I saw my old security man, who I never knew could speak a word of English, hopping from one end of the gate to the other, opening the gate and saying to them, hello, Nana Thomas, she's up, coming. And I was like, oh God. And I saw them in 3 embassy buses. And I saw them, about 10 or so of them, coming out with equipment, with their lights, with their cameras. And I'm freaking out. And I'm telling my husband, there's no light. There's never light at this time. We don't have a small jet. My husband said, calm down. God brought them, he'll sort them out. If they don't have any light, there's no light, we'll give them what we have. Lo and behold, as soon as the first American people would done set foot into the house, lights came. At that time, I just knew that God was about to do some drama in my life. And so we came and left, we rejoiced and thought that was the end of it. Only for them to send a message to me after about 2 months and say, I hope you're such amazing. We want you to come to the US. We want you to come and share your story. And I'm like seriously? I could not believe it. I was so scared. I immediately remembered one of my favorite movies, Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. And I kept saying, I'm coming to America, I'm coming to America. I was so scared. And it was happening all so suddenly. My husband just said, keep calm. Just. And I went on that trip. I come back from that trip, kept building the business, and then I get another letter. This time around from the Clinton Global Initiative. Obviously, the Clinton Global Initiative at that time was focusing on empowering women. So they needed to bring a woman who had benefited from a program similar to what they were proposing and who had grown her business from nothing to somewhere bigger. And so they reached out to me and said, can you come and speak? And I'm like, well, of course I can. So I was guest at that program. It was an amazing one. Doors began to open for me. I became a part of the network, of different networks, Vital Voices, and then at a point there was this program by the State Department, US State Department, where every year they choose women from different parts of the world, connect them with successful women in the US, and they are expected to mentor them for a period of 5 weeks. So I had the privilege of